Longlegs is a psychological thriller by Oz Perkins, written and directed by Oz Perkins. It stars Maika Monroe, Nicolas Cage, and Blair Underwood. If you're like me, this is not going to be what you expected. When I watched the trailer, maybe it was because of the sound design in the trailer, and I think I attribute that to a specific scene in the trailer where it flashes past the antagonist and it makes like this weird noise that I think that set with me and made me think this had something to do with a monster, like an actual creature. It doesn't. Of course, as always, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I can tell you that this is not that type of movie. Again, it is a horror film, but it's more so in the same vein as Seven, Zodiac, things like that. I enjoyed it. It's a slow burn. It takes a while to get started, but when it gets started, it pretty much continues to slowly pedal in that same direction. It's not a very confusing movie. We do it deals with the FBI and detectives and that kind of thing. So we do end up going on a journey with this FBI agent who Maika Monroe plays. I want to say her name is Lee Harker. She plays Agent Lee Harker, and Blair Underwood is an Agent Carter. Nicolas Cage, of course, is the antagonist in the film. This is not a secret. But we follow Agent Harker and Agent Carter as they try to figure out why, of course, per usual, why the serial killer is doing what he's doing, why he's targeting, specifically who he's targeting, how is he making these choices. As with all serial killers, he's leaving notes and puzzles and pieces that they have to figure out that ultimately leads them to finding out this or that. This film is very dark, very twisted. There are slight supernatural elements to it. I won't go much further into that because I really want people to be able to make their own decisions, because what means one thing to one person might not mean the same to everyone. Supernatural to me is flying unicorns, that kind of thing. So there are certain elements that one person may classify as supernatural to an extent, and then for others it may be much further beyond a certain threshold. So I won't go too much into detail on that. But man, 1,000,000 points for creativity, 1,000,000 points for the story. I've said this before in one of my other reviews. My absolute favorite thing in the world about filmmaking is that I don't care if your film is good. I don't care if it's bad. I love that people are able to come up with things that I could have never thought of. And I consider myself to be a pretty decent writer. That's my absolute favorite aspect of filmmaking, is that you could write something different every single day, and there will always be someone else who is capable of coming up with an original story that you could not have ever thought of, you couldn't have ever guessed. And that's what I really appreciated the most about this film. It's so original. Now, he does pull inspiration from several other movies, several other filmmakers. And Oz even says as much in certain interviews that he did prior to the release of the film. He talks about kind of taking some inspiration from The Shining, Stanley Kubrick, and things of that nature. So it's apparent. The film takes place in the 1980s, and it just really pays homage to serial killer films from that era. And it's very apparent. You can really feel it. The way that the film was shot, it's unsettling purposely. It's meant to make you feel confused. It's meant to make you feel fear, to feel uneasy, unsettling. It's extremely creepy. Nicolas Cage delivers one of the creepiest performances he's ever delivered. I loved every minute of seeing him be immersed in that character, the Longlegs character. Overall, for me personally, For me to be, I'll tell you what terrified me. Not about this film, but I'm gonna give some context for you to be able to see the type of things that it takes for me to be just scared out of my mind. The Conjuring, right? The Nun. I don't even say that demon's name. That it takes that kind of stuff to really put me in the mindset to where I'm terrified, to where I might kind of side eye the screen. Stuff like this doesn't scare me. So it's a horror film, but to me it just really felt suspense thriller-ish. I was not terrified at all. A little weirded out at some things. I think it's intentionally makes you feel that way, but other than that, I mean, still though, it was okay. I would rate it about a 7.5 or so. Definitely a slow burn. Like I said, it took a while to really get started. But other than that, I don't really have any complaints though. You know, it was just, for me, not so much what it was advertised to be. But that doesn't take anything away from it. It was still a very well written movie, a very well shot movie. Sound design is great. Cinematography is great. And they did a great job of immersing us in their investigation. I really felt like I was there trying to figure out that problem with them. And so it was rewarding when certain things kind of started to pan out and shape up. It made you feel like, I kind of thought that would happen. So it's not a predictable movie by any means, but if you really put your thinking cap on and you're really trying, you can kind of connect some dots, and it's pretty cool to do. But that does it for my review on the horror movie Longlegs. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stick around, hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I do more reviews. My next one will be Twisters. I'm going to see Twisters next Wednesday. It releases next Friday, but I have an early access viewing next Wednesday. So in the meantime, pick a theater, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. See you guys at the next one.